You are unable to see the national interest, and you are acting. You are acting in Pakistan's interest. I think your party must not only be shocked, you should be ashamed.
From Kargil to Kandahar to Operation Parakram, on each occasion you compromise the
Our party, we never compromised. For us, national interest is supreme. National security is supreme. That is not the case. For the sake of vote bank politics, for the sake of vote bank politics, you are stooping to this level.
Under Operation Parakram.
One second. For you, everything is politics. 26/11 also, you blamed it on Indians. Every terror incident in this country, you blamed it on Indians. You are speaking the voice of Pakistan. And you are practicing politics in India. It's a shame on the Congress party.
It has got emboldened because of your flip-flop. One day you invite Nawaz Sharif for your swearing in.
I am also informed.
And your top leaders.
The third day you have the Prime Minister
your love for elite
to wish him all the best for cricket.
All
you do not have a policy towards Pakistan.
Maruf Raza,
Pakistan has got
Maruf Raza hasn't spoken a word.
Primarily due to the fact that you weakened national security.
Mr. Tiwari,
you have compromised national security, and you are acting
Mr. Tiwari, 1 second, and Mr. Rao, can you cease fire for a minute?
You are giving a handle to Pakistan to fight the armed forces who are fighting a battle on the LOC and international border, day in and day out. You are bringing down the morale. You are bringing down the morale of forces.
Can anyone tonight, because if you are going by the statements of one DIG who is not entrusted to blow, leave alone a Pakistani boat, to fire an air gun at a Pakistani boat, a person not equipped, not authorized to fire an air gun at a Pakistani boat, claims that I blew off the boat. The Congress party jumps at it. Pakistan gets an opportunity. The Pakistani Defence Minister latches onto the situation. And I want to simply ask tonight that there are brave men at the borders, our maritime and our land borders, who are protecting our borders. What message are we sending out to those people here today that we will believe anyone, absolutely anyone, including an errant officer without authority? We will do politics over it. And we'll have the Pakistanis clapping and applauding on the other side. It defeats our national interest, Mr. Tiwari, and I think you're a patriot.
If he happens to speak up, you know, he will be labelled as everything from irresponsible to anti-national because it does not fit a particular script.
Sure. Maruf Raza, I have to get Maruf Raza into the debate.
You know, what if for a moment, Mr.
Maruf Raza, please.
Consider that officer was...
I think our viewers would like to listen to Mr. Maruf Raza.
And if that was the truth, what is wrong with that?
Mr.
Tiwari... terrorists and you blew up the boat, why are you so...
Do you doubt they were terrorists?
Saying so.
One second. Mr. Tiwari, sorry, 1 minute. Maruf, before coming to you, this is too much. You say if they were terrorists...
Too much.
What were they? Human rights activists?
Yeah. Well, if they were terrorists and you blew them
up... What were they? Environmentalists? Are you saying they were Pakistani environmentalists?
I began by saying that if you have actionable intelligence and you acted on that...
You're a former minister, you're speaking...
You blew up a boat...
Mr. Tiwari, what are you suggesting today? Are you saying they were environmentalists? Tomorrow you say they were not even Pakistanis.
The different versions you're putting out.
Mr. Tiwari, the Indian Coast Guard engages in hot pursuit with a ship for an hour. The boat tries to escape away from the Indian side of the maritime boundary. 4 persons of the boat don't respond to warning signals by the Coast Guard ship.
And you them,
Mr. Tiwari, you believe everybody. You'll believe the Pakistanis, but you won't believe your own government.
Well, in the sense, it's not a question of believing the Pakistanis. The version of the Indian government was not contested by the Pakistanis.
I don't know, Mr. Tiwari.
It was contested by the Indian media itself.
Mr. Tiwari, now I have to go to Maruf. Mr. Tiwari, you're taking too much time. Maruf Raza, please, rebutting you now. We'll give Maruf Raza equal opportunity, please. Mr. Maruf Raza, please. Mr. Maruf Raza, please. Mr. Maruf Raza, please.
Mr. Tiwari sir, I've heard everything that you all had to say for 45 minutes patiently.
Go on.
Let me give you a little perspective on it. The first point is that very often we end up becoming our worst enemies. And I think in this case, the kind of horse trading or the kind of allegation trading that is happening between political parties, it is just an embarrassment to the country and our countrymen. Please understand that there is a very strong possibility of Pakistan considering another Mumbai too.
Yeah.
This was an idea which was very much considered seriously by your government. And for you to say that the BJP's led NDA government in the past had done flip-flop on policies, your government also did that. And the most important example of that was that after 26/11, your government went on to say there was a trust deficit, so we must get back to talking to Pakistan. And then you had the infamous Sharm el-Sheikh statement, which has become an article of faith with Pakistan. Assuming both political parties have got things wrong, I assume when you are in power, you work in national interest. But please understand a couple of points. A, that a DIG of a Coast Guard unit cannot take it upon himself to take on an action of this nature, even if he was in an operational role, which will have international implications.
Absolutely.
This would have gone up and down the chain and got clearance. A. Second point is that information is passed on in operations of special nature on a need-to-know basis, and as Mr. Pavan Verma brought out, the Navy need not have been fully put on alert, because the helicopters of the Coast Guard were good enough to deal with one boat. We were not having a Pakistani armada attacking our coast. It was one boat, and two boats and two helicopters are good enough. Third point to understand is that the Defence Minister of this country, whether of your government, as Arnab rightly brought out, and I wanted to bring that point out, when he flip-flopped on his statement about the border action on the LOC and said Pakistani terrorists in Pakistani uniform, I contested it then, because Pakistan Army does not allow terrorists to ever wear its uniform. It allows only its soldiers to dress in an incognito manner, but never a terrorist to wear their uniform. It's too holy an item for them to share it with terrorists, though they sleep with them. So accordingly, there were mistakes. Somebody gave him a wrong input, and he later corrected himself. But I think in this case, what has happened is that the Coast Guard has been in a bravado kind of mindset for a long time, because they've lived, and Uday Bhaskar will agree with me, that they live under the shadow of the Navy's glory. So they had this one operation, and somebody went a little over the top, claiming credit for it, as though he was speaking for all of Coast Guard. I think it's very clear that we have a choice today as a nation to believe one Coast Guard officer who's gone over the top, or the entire governmental machinery and establishment which is saying one thing else. So where do we stand as a nation? Are we looking at playing into Pakistan's hand and giving them another Sharm el-Sheikh to beat us with? Or another 26/11 counter view to beat us with? Or we come to the truth, and I think the fault of this government, and Mr. Narasimhan, may I request you, sir, that the fault of this government is, it's 46 days down the line after the operation has taken place, and why haven't they come out with at least one clear statement saying what was the sequence of action, without giving away the entire set of details?
Yes, in fact, I say release the evidence.
Very valid point.
May I?
No, 1 second. Yes, Pawan Verma.
May I come in for a moment, Maruf? In fact,
Arnab, I want to just come in for a 30 seconds.
Yes, Pawan Verma first. Manish Tiwari before that.
Arnab, let me remind Mr. Tiwari, sir. Mr. Tiwari,
must give a clarification. At 9:30, you are turning that argument on its head. So you make up your mind. At 7:30,
allow me to come in.
No, 1 second. Maruf is responding.
Do you stand by that statement or not?
I am saying that.
No, do you stand by that statement or not?
I just said so. Mr. Tiwari.
Mr. Raza, do you stand by that statement
which I said
that you gave at 7:30, that there has been a lot of flip-flop, the Defence Minister should stand up and clear the air? Or you taken a U-turn on that by 9:30?
No, I have not. I have not. I am saying so again, which I said earlier. And don't smirk at me, Mr. Tiwari, because let me remind you that I said so earlier in the day. And
I have no reason to smirk at you. If I smile, you consider it to be a smirk.
Hold it.
I was only smiling at you. I was not
Mr.
Tiwari,
I can't.
Mr. Raza. All I was amused at was 360 degree or 180 degree turn in a span of 2 years.
No, I have not done it.
Maybe, that suits that show, and this suits this show.
Mr. Tiwari, you've got to allow somebody else to speak. I said so earlier in the day, and I'm saying so that the government must come out with clear.
You've been interrupting me.
No, please him. Okay, Mr. Tiwari, will you let me speak? I've heard you speak for 45 minutes. All I'm saying, I said so earlier in the day, and I'm saying so now, that this is no, you haven't. I have not even spoken for 5 minutes. Let me tell you, I said so right now, that the fault of this government is, they have, Mr. Tiwari, hear me. I said so right now, and I said so earlier, that the fault of this government is, they have not come out with a clear statement as to what was the sequence of action that led them to the war. Yes, I said so. I have not said so that this government should pressurize this officer to withdraw his statement. The government should just come out with more clear statement of sequence of events without giving away things which may compromise national security. I said it now. I said it earlier. And let me tell you one thing, Mr. Tiwari. Let me tell you,
simple question. Going back to your earlier statement of 7:30, don't you think, or is it not time that the Defence Minister of this country stood up and clarified the whole situation? That's the simple question.
Mr. Tiwari, the simple point that Maroof is making tonight. The simple point that Maroof is making tonight. Maroof, 1 minute. Maroof, 1 minute. The simple point Maroof is making tonight. And I think 1 second. Maroof, 1 minute. Maroof, see, the simple point is making tonight. And I actually
speak.
Yes, Mr. Pawan Verma, of course I will. Of course I will.
Please allow me.
But these, okay, fine, Pawan Verma, you come in.
I'll take 30 seconds. I want to refer to a point that Maroof made, and in that context I say that till my last breath we must support the government's action against terrorism. Similarly, the government, in order to preserve its credibility in its acts against terrorism, for which it has the nation's support, must never prevaricate on facts that can be legitimately put in the public realm.
But
Maroof made the point that there was a demand then, and there's a demand today. 46 days have elapsed, and the government has not yet come out with a clear sequence of events.
Mr. Verma,
that controversy, that lack. I just take 10 seconds. That lack has been compounded by the statement, which I agree may be bravado of a sidelined officer.
Suppose
the government must now come out with the facts and
suppose it turns out tomorrow.
Sequence of events.
What prevents it? Suppose it
Otherwise, Arnab, you are saying that citizens have no right to ask questions.
Of course, Mr. Verma, please don't. I'm sorry, Mr. Verma, you are misrepresenting. You are misrepresenting tonight. You are strongly misrepresenting tonight, and so is to an extent Mr. Tiwari. But I must put that question. I must let Rahul Darwekar come in. What am I saying? What I'm saying today, and Mr. Tiwari is getting all hot under his collar, I don't know for what reason, otherwise he's quite a cool customer. Maybe he realizes that he jumped the gun. But tonight, you see, the Congress party comes out and says the government of India...
Do not make sweeping judgments. Go ahead with your question.
Mr. Tiwari, today the Congress party comes out, and I want to get Rahul Narvekar in, you see. The Congress party comes out and says the government of India is giving other nations an opportunity to question us on the world stage. Well, that's the greatest joke.
That's right.
That's the greatest joke. I mean, I'm sorry, Mr. Tiwari. No, Mr. Tiwari, let someone else have an opinion on what
who gave the opportunity?
Mr. Tiwari, let me.
In fact,
now, again, you're not letting me ask the question.
Questions were raised by the media.
You're not letting me ask the question.
By your inference,
you're not letting me ask the question.
Trying to make that if the Congress party follows up on those questions, it becomes anti-national.
Mr. Tiwari, let me ask the question. Let me ask the question, Mr. Tiwari. You see, Mr. Tiwari, 1 second, 1 minute, Mr. Tiwari, with respect, I'd like to say,
if you are going to muzzle out all dissent,
Mr. Tiwari,
if you are going to muzzle out all questioning,
Mr.
sweep it under the carpet. That doesn't augur well for democracy.
Mr. Tiwari, to you I'd say,
pause to think for a moment.
To you I'd say, Mr. Tiwari, on a lighter note, on a lighter note,
what if that officer turns out to be correct?
Maroof, see, on a lighter note, I have to square off with the super aggressive Mr. Tiwari today. It appears to me, Mr. Tiwari. One second. It appears to me, Mr. Tiwari, watching your impeccable performance on the Newshour this evening, that if you're disturbed at half a question of mine, if you're so disturbed at half a question, I wonder what will happen when I ask my complete question, because you stop me every time I ask half a question. My question therefore passes to the NCP representative who's looking at his watch.
You haven't yet asked your question.
Exactly. Every time I ask half a question, Mr. Tiwari stops me.
After all, you are the guy who's fought the maximum nuclear wars on television.
Mr. Tiwari.
Who in his right mind can have the gumption to stop
Mr. Tiwari. Mr. Tiwari, 1 second. 1 second.
Otherwise, I would be hung, drawn and quartered.
Mr. Tiwari, let me say this to you on a further lighter note, that if there were nuclear wars on this program, being a loyal participant in the program for many years, neither you or I would be around because there'd be completely mutually assured destruction for both of us. My question goes to Rahul Narvekar. Poor Mr. Narvekar hasn't even got his turn.
I was seriously planning to send you that book. 60 minutes to Cuba or 60 days to the Cuban countdown. After
Mr. Tiwari, you're in a spot tonight. You're in a spot tonight. Okay, so you know what? 1 second. 1 second. You see what Twitter does to people. One second. Now you see this. Mr. Narvekar, the first opportunity you get to speak, I apologize profusely for this, but Mr. Tiwari is responsible, not me. I am asking you, today, when your ally, the Congress party, I hope they are still your allies because your relationship keeps changing now that Mr. Pawar meets Mr. Modi every often. What do you feel the Congress party's position has been? On this issue, don't you feel the Congress party sided with the anti-India narrative without proof, without source? Ask the government to come clean on an incident of the blowing of a Pakistani ship, a terrorist ship blowing itself up, on the basis of the testimony of an officer, dubious testimony of an officer with no authority. Take a position tonight, Mr. Narvekar.
Well, Arnab, at the outset, let me ask you, isn't it healthy for leaders of the opposition and leaders of the ruling party to come together and discuss matters of national importance? I thought you'll applaud this and not politicize this. Yeah. Number one, be that as it may. Let's come to the question that you put across.
Go ahead. Let's go back to the point.
Insofar as this incident is concerned, when this incident took place, there were alternate theories that were floating with regards to this incident. There were stories which were questioned by some political parties. There was a section of the media which was also supporting an alternate theory. So there was a lot of grey area. With subject to that, the Defence Minister, Honourable Defence Minister, made a clear statement on your channel itself, stating that in the next 5 to 6 days, I will get to the bottom of the story, get to the truth of the whole matter. He said, I will make a statement to that effect in the next 5 to 6 days. After this incident, till date, we've not heard anything from the Defence Minister, nor have we heard anything on any of these great channels who seem to always profess that we bring out the truth and we follow the story till the right end, including your channel. I've not seen you all covering this after that 1 week of coverage that you gave this incident.
I'm sorry,
there was a grey area with regards to this very incident. Now, I think this controversy wouldn't have taken place at all. Like Mr. Maruf Raza rightly said, had the Defence Minister made a statement on this issue a little while earlier before this controversy took place, I think there was absolutely nothing necessary.
You're responsible for this kind of controversy. 5 minutes on the debate. GVL Narasimha is responding. Yes, please.
You need to. Number two, insofar as the Congress party and the questioning of the Congress party is concerned, they are absolutely free to question, but I think in national interest, being a responsible opposition, they had all the authority to call upon the Defence Minister, discuss the issue with him, and then go public with it. I think that was prudent. Number three, you also need to realize the Bharatiya Janata Party, as a party, running the government today, should have been responsible enough to call upon the opposition and voice their concern.
So I don't understand. You're trying to keep all political sides happy. It's interesting. Okay, 1 second. GVL Narasimha Rao responding. GVL Narasimha Rao. Quickly, 5 more minutes in the debate. GVL Narasimha Rao. Extending the debate. GVL Narasimha Rao.
Arnab, can I...
Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Rao.
Okay. The entire sequence of events was put out in the press release by the Coast Guard itself. And this was the detailed press release which was covered extensively in the media.
That's true.
And there is nothing And if people start imagining things, and if speculative stories appear in the media, and if political parties are only latching onto it to embrace the government without understanding, this is prejudicial to national interest.
GVL,
and I think the Pakistan has not protested
when the Bharatiya Janata Party said it is the right of the opposition. It is the right of the opposition to question the government. This is the stand that the Bharatiya Janata Party has taken time and again.
Pakistan has not protested as much as the Congress Party in this case.
Please don't make these somersaults.
What does that tell you?
Stick to your reputation.
No, Pakistan has not protested as much as the political parties in India. What does that tell you?
The dangerous point which is being made out here. The dangerous point which is being made is while the media has the right to question the government in public, political parties must question the government in private. What kind of a distinction are we drawing?
You are lending a lot of credibility, Mr. Tiwari, a newspaper giving a speculative report. A newspaper speculative report does not hurt us as much.
But political parties must question them in the private space. You know, what kind of a double standard is this?
Have you left the political space? Is Congress Party only a part of the media? Is Congress Party also wanting to run media outlets? As a political party, you have a lot of responsibility. You cannot say we simply latch on to anything that appears in the media.
Mr. Rao, you cannot hide
party.
Pawan Verma,
you are a ruling party as a year ago.
3 minutes left on the terror boat quiz debate, and I hand it over to Pawan Verma. Pawan Verma.
Disrupting Parliament is a legitimate tactic.
Arnab, I want to
Pawan
say
Verma,
to
please,
Mr. Rao.
3 minutes in the debate. 3 minutes left, gentlemen.
Allow me to, Mr. Rao.
Arnab, can I make one
Through
point?
Mr. Goswami, let me approach Mr. Rao.
No, Arnab, Congress Party, does it want to say it does not? It is not taken seriously by the world. Congress Party was a ruling party in this country. When you speak, the whole world takes notice. When you take a Congress, when you take a Pakistani position, when you take a Pakistani position, you are giving them ammunition.
Mr. Rao,
you are giving them ammunition.
Sorry. No, Mr. Rao, sorry. But if there's someone giving ammunition, it is the government. Sorry, 1 second. Mr. Rao.
Don't get arrogant.
Mr. Rao, you know, Mr. Rao, your
politics keeps turning. And the wheel of politics in the case
okay,
of Delhi
to Mr. Rao, 1 second. What, Sushant?
I want to ask Mr. Rao a question.
Yeah.
Mr. Rao, we are all devoted to the national interest. But please don't make it a habit of quoting national interest to foist off any questions asked to the government. When you escorted terrorists to Kandahar and claimed it was a battle against terror, the government and the politics and the media should have kept quiet.
All party meeting agreed to this. This was agreed in an all party meeting. Don't blame only the government at that time.
I feel
it was an all party meeting.
I feel Mr. Rao, I want to get the experts back. I'll give Maruf the last word before
political consensus.
May I just ask Sushant Sareen? May I just ask Sushant Sareen? Maruf, I'm going to give you the last word on this, but I want to ask Sushant Sareen. You know, Sushant, all this can end very quickly if Mr. Rao, instead of going, just getting angry, just release the damn evidence. Put it out. If you have a video, if you have pictures, if you have debris, if you have what, just put the evidence, have a press conference, put it out, end the controversy once and for all.
Arnab, you can't release all the evidence, and let me give you an instance. At the time of Kargil, a certain transcript of Intercept was released. Arey, sun lijiye, sir. You know, it's as bad as being on a television program with Indian politicians as it is when Pakistanis are out here. You don't let anybody else talk.
You are not the government, Mr.
That's the problem with you. And as a diplomat, you've now started behaving like a politician.
Because he's not government.
So perhaps the government has decided what it is in a position to release and what it's not in a position to release. And even if they release facts, people like Mr. Verma, because of their political allegiances, will not be willing to accept anything. That is the problem.
Of course, I know what kind of a political background you belong to, because you have taken it upon yourself that you're not going to believe anything that the government says. Your whole politics depends upon questioning anything which the government or the armed forces say. That's your politics today. That is the unfortunate part of this whole thing. And this whole controversy would never have arisen if in the first instance the BJP had not started chest thumping about what great a job the Coast Guard did. Had they been circumspect, perhaps this problem would never have arisen. But now everybody wants to have their own say in this incident. So that is the basic problem. You have politicized it needlessly, and at a time when the Pakistanis are not even questioning what happened. The Pakistanis are not even questioning what happened, but our politicians seem to be worried about what exactly happened on the highway. Otherwise, I would have thought that the Pakistanis would have worried about 4 people of theirs.
This was not questioned by the Pakistanis. It was questioned by the Indian media.
Section of the Indian media, Mr. Tiwari.
The questioning was done by the Indian media, not by Pakistan.
So what's the big deal about it?
The big deal about it is that is how robust democracies function. You are not living in a fascist state as yet.
The questions which you are raising,
but not an irresponsible. We are a responsible democracy.
You start raising questions on why is the BSF firing on the LOC? Why is the army firing on the LOC? Then you will start raising questions. Did actually the Pakistanis fire first?
Well, these are precisely the questions you raised all along.
Don't think the opposition is so irresponsible.
Serene, that you raised all along.
Children here.
Haven't you critiqued security policy, strategic policy, defense policy all your life? Haven't you raised these questions? So when you raise these questions, it is legitimate. But if somebody raises it, he's anti-national. You do not have the proprietary right to nationalism.
It's not a question. It's not about how you. It's not about the question being raised. It's about how you raise the question.
Your whole approach is shoot the messenger because he asks uncomfortable questions.
And the conflation you do of issues. That is the problem. Don't conflate issues.
One second, Mr. Tiwari, again on a lighter note.
You equated with something.
Again on a lighter note.
That is where you start making the fault.
Again on a lighter note. If I may be allowed,
issues, Mr. Tiwari. That is my point of contention.
Mr. Tiwari,
not that you are raising a question.
Mr.
But
Tiwari,
when you start conflating it with, say, a fake encounter somewhere, and then start insinuating certain things, that is where the problem comes in.
Mr. Tiwari, 1 minute, calm down. I appreciate all that's going on, and I know that, we're extending I'll give the last word to Maruf. By the way, Mr. Tiwari, I like all this muscularity in your approach. Now you've got a diplomatic 8-pack since you were in the opposition. Where was the 6-pack diplomatic 8-pack when you were in government? Maruf Raza is coming back to the debate with the last word. My view, Maruf, is government should release more evidence. Release the evidence. Make it public now.
Yes, I agree with that.
It's very much in the government's domain to be able to come out with evidence which will put this argument to rest without giving away issues that will impinge on national security, just like the Kargil Review Committee report, which was published after deleting one is that. The second point which I want to bring out, particularly for Mr. Tiwari's interest, who is spearheading this charge, that Mr. Tiwari, when one DIG makes a remark, you rally behind him and you trust him and not the government of India. But one of your former cabinet colleagues, Ms. Jayanti Natarajan, specifically makes a comment. Sir, please hear me.
Yeah, well said,
No, sir, please hear me.
You said after this controversy has become unseen.
He's making a good point. Maruf is making a good point.
I was not relying on that DIG, I was relying on your evidence.
Mr.
I hold you in very high esteem.
I said, Mr. Tiwari, please hear me. Please hear me. All I'm saying, I said then and I'm saying it now again and again, that the government must come clean and give the whole set of evidence which will put the argument to rest.
Right.
You look at my soundbite which I gave earlier in the day, and which is what I'm saying now. But I'm reminding you that when your former cabinet colleague says something which is wrong with your leadership, you dismiss her point. But when one DIG says that everything which the government is saying is wrong, you agree with him. Please be a little more balanced and rational.
All right, should the government release the evidence? I say tonight on the Newshour, the government of India should release the evidence. Put the evidence in the public domain. Let the evidence be examined, and then let us come back to this subject. To everybody on this debate tonight, I thank you very much for joining me on debate number 1 on the terror boat twist on the Newshour tonight.